Stick around with me and we'll talk about how a switch in string gauge affected my tone, my technique, and my hands. Hey everybody out there in YouTube land, welcome to Overdrive Guitar Channel. So, I think you guys can kind of get the gist of where this video is gonna be going from the title. Let's just say this probably isn't the most original video on YouTube. I'm not the first guy to shoot out string gauges. So let me fill you in on exactly why I'm doing this video. So some of you guys will probably be able to relate this kind of string gauge journey that I kind of keep going through, in my opinion, needlessly, right? I really feel like it's unnecessary, but for some reason I keep falling into this trap. That's one of the reasons for making this video, to try to prevent anybody else from falling into this trap. So, some of you guys will be able to relate, especially if you came up like I did on SRV, right? If SRV was the reason that you picked up a guitar, string gauge is kind of at the forefront of a lot of tone conversations. So, as has happened before, about a week ago, or a little more, the thought creeped into my head, my hands have been feeling good, they're good and strong, maybe I can go up in string gauge, maybe my tone will benefit from it, right? Maybe I'll finally get that elusive tone I've been chasing since the day I picked up the instrument. Not likely, right? I mean, I think deep down, pretty much all of us know that the tone chase is kind of a lifelong thing for guys like me. It's an always evolving, so therefore never ending process. So, as usual, I decided to go up in string gauge, and it didn't take long before I found myself icing my hand and having to lay off the guitar for a little bit. Now, we are talking about just 10s here. It's not like I was trying to play 12s or something, but I do play a lot, so if you play a lot, your hands can get fatigued pretty easily. I am going to have a video coming up very soon, appropriately, on hand health. Now, if you don't want to miss that video, or video lessons, or deep dive gear demos, which are some of the next videos I have coming up, please hit like and subscribe. That's the best way to support this humble little channel. It doesn't cost anything, right? So this frustration of repeatedly doing this is probably the third or fourth time at least I've been through this process of going up in gauge, realizing my hands aren't quite built for it, and going back down immediately. So I decided to use one of the most powerful tools that we have, even in practice. You might have heard me talk about this before. One of the most powerful tools we have is the ability to record ourselves and listen back. Now, I wanted to listen to not only tonal differences, but I think I noticed a lot of difference between the way I attacked the guitar or didn't attack it with bigger strings, because I just wasn't comfortable and I wasn't familiar with kind of the feedback and the responses I was getting. I'm very much a kind of edge of breakup player, and I rely on dynamics of the amplifier in my playing, that kind of relationship and response to kind of evoke emotions in my playing. That's my goal, at least. So to wrap it all up in kind of a neat little nutshell, I was going to record myself anyways. I figured, why not do it a little bit neater and share it with you guys? Maybe somebody else could get something out of it, right? Maybe I could prevent somebody else from going through this process and getting possibly a hand injury, right? So real quick, I'm gonna do this as scientifically as possible within reason, right? I'll be using this guitar. If you follow the channel, you'll know it maybe as Project Unsuper Strat. It's an Ibanez Gio. We've got a Fender. Right now, this is a Fender gray bottom 64 Strat pickup and the stock bridge pickup. So we're going to use this guitar for its kind of variety of tones. That was kind of the goal. All the sounds will be through a Boss Katana 100 Mark II. I saved all the tones after I did my first playing sample. So all the settings should be the same. All that. They're the same brand of strings. You get the idea. I'm going to kind of try to keep it as close as possible within reason, right? We're not in a lab here. As usual, all the gear will be listed below. Any pedals I use, I'll kind of post them up in the corner while I'm using them. So let's compare some sounds. Alright guys, so in conclusion, there was some differences, right? Clearly, and probably everybody knew there would be. There are differences in tone, there are differences in the way I attack things. Some tones, there are bigger differences than others. These are kind of the results we already knew, and honestly, the results for me are kind of a moot point, because the most important thing in this whole equation is to listen to our body. If my hand is hurting, that little incremental bit of tone that is subjectively better that I might gain from getting a better string gauge is pointless, because if my hand is hurt, then I can't play anyways. I think one of the biggest things I took out of this is I'm just not comfortable playing 10's, and you can actually see it in the video. Alright guys, if you stuck around this long, you're probably as big of a guitar geek as I am, so maybe hit like and subscribe to support this humble little channel so I can keep bringing you free content and keep getting better at it, hopefully, right? Anyways, stay safe out there guys, keep rocking.